Alright, let's take a look at World's Finest from September 1958. This is World's Finest number 96 from DC Comics. Of course, World's Finest is known for pairing up Superman and Batman. Of course, Robin is always in tow with Batman. This cover was done by Kurt Swan, Stan Kaye, and Irish Knapp. This issue, of course, like most World's Finest issues of the time, features a story with Superman and Batman, which is the main cover story, and also two other stories. This one features a Tommahawk story written by Dave Wood, and a Green Arrow story written by Ed Herron and penciled by Jack Kirby and inked by Roz Kirby. So we'll take a look at all of those stories. First up is this Superman and Batman story, The Super Foes of Planet X, written by Edmund Hamilton, penciled by Dick Sprang, inked by Stan Kaye. And so you see a preview panel of what's going to happen in this comic with Superman and Batman fighting weird monsters from another planet. And so Superman and Batman get called telepathically to fight this, and this thing is basically as hot as the sun. Is melting this beach into glass, and so Batman and Robin are charged with herding the humans out of the way while Superman takes care of things. And so Superman tries to punch it, but I mean, that doesn't really do anything. So Superman does what he always does. He tries to figure out a weird sci-fi way of dispatching with this. So he creates a dome out of the melted glass that this thing is creating to try and lure it to him with heat. And he flies to the sun and gets some of the plasma matter from the sun and throws it at this thing to create a supernova out of it to destroy it. And that's what happens. It would have destroyed the Earth, I would think, but anyway, it's 50s science. So that's that. They get another telepathic summons to fight this whirling sort of like twister monster. And this thing is going to create a tsunami that will destroy this island, so Superman lifts the island out of the way. I don't know how, but hey, if it's on some sort of bedrock, perhaps, I guess. I don't think that's how islands work, but whatever. And so Superman creates a ramp for this thing. It's going so fast that it goes up this ramp. Batman uses his Batplane to slick it a bit to make it even faster on this ramp. It goes up the ramp and it whirls off into space. And so Superman and Batman get summoned again by a telepathic voice to fight this crawler. And what the crawler does is it shrinks you, so it shrinks everything in its path. And so they try to fight this thing, and a bird tries to eat them, and Batman flings a penny at it, and I don't know, just like scares it off or kills it or something. It looks pretty painful, that impact, but anyway. The thing about the crawler is that there's a sonic like sort of power that it has to shrink things around it with its antenna. And so Superman lures this thing into a cigar box and breaks off the antenna from this thing. And so everyone goes back to normal. And these aliens capture Superman, Batman, and Robin. They're trying to figure out how to get out of this weird prison with this whirling energy around them. And Batman uses a handy-dandy rod from his bat belt, a utility belt, and tries to hurl this at a switch that will turn off this energy. Somehow Batman knows it'll do this. And he flings a batarang at the thing. The thing goes into the button and releases them. And they encounter the aliens that captured them. And the aliens talk about how this whole thing was a test. On their planet, they have created robots to do everything for them, but they're breaking down and they don't know how to deal with the natural elements of the planet that they're on. So they created these tests to see what the superhumans here would do, Batman included, I guess. And and they've shown him what they would do. So now they're going to go back to their planet armed with this and program their remaining superhuman robots to do the same. And that's the story. There's a lot of sci-fi, weird, Silver Age-ness to these stories when Superman and Batman teamed up. It's not the gritty Batman and like altruistic Superman, clashing and stuff. It's just them teaming up and being heroes. Okay, next up is Tommahawk. This story is Tommahawk's pony partner. This is written by Dave Wood and penciled and inked by Bob Brown. And Tommahawk is just basically a Davy Crockett type of character. In this story, they encounter like a native man in the trees here, and he's dying, but he says, he has a peace packet that he has to deliver. They are peace papers of my chieftain, Strong Elk. If they are not delivered to the Oneida chief when the sun reaches mid-sky tomorrow, our tribes will war. And so someone set fields on fire, someone's trying to make two tribes go to war, and Tommahawk has to stop this by delivering this peace paper that will prove everything. On their way, they encounter an old hermit and try to rescue him. In trying to rescue him, Tommahawk's horse is injured, just a pulled muscle, but the guy they rescue is like, take my horse, he's awesome. So they take the pony, and while on their journey, they have to go into this lake, and these native people are firing at them. But the pony that Tommahawk inherits from that hermit has a lot of great abilities. One of them is to swim underwater. And so the horse swims underwater, and Tommahawk can't believe it. And so the horse springs up into action and capsizes the boat that their attackers are in, and goes off. And they encounter another obstacle where Tommahawk has to use the pony to prance and create an avalanche for their attackers. And so he does that. And next up, Tommahawk springs into action to fight a bunch of attackers head-on, and so does the pony. The pony uses head to headbutt a bunch of guys, and so they arrive and deliver the peace papers, and war is averted. And next up is the Green Arrow, and this one is 5 Clues to Danger. This is penciled by Jack Kirby and inked by Roz Kirby and written by Ed Herron. Speedy and Green Arrow are in their little boat contraption here. I think it could go underwater too. He had a lot of Batman-ish like gadgets and vehicles and stuff. It's pretty cool. So they search for this thing called the Argosy. It's a ship that was lost, and one of the members is declared dead, and all of this stuff is inherited to Oliver Queen. And it's a bunch of weird stuff. And it's like, just a bunch of, like, there's a harmonica involved, there's other weird stuff involved. And at night, Oliver Queen and Speedy, who sleep in separate beds, they're robbed randomly for these random items. And so a chase ensues, and they're puzzled. They recover the stuff, but it's like, it's weird. It's a harmonica, an almanac, etc. And so they're trying to piece together why these guys would try to steal this stuff. Meanwhile, the guy who supposedly died is not dead. It's a professor that can turn random things into diamonds. And so they want the formula from him. And I guess they figured they could steal that stuff that was inherited to Oliver Queen. But that stuff didn't have the formula. So Speedy and Green Arrow fight these guys, and at one point there's a bomb involved, and Green Arrow has a shower arrow. So this is the age of all these weird trick arrows, and so they arrest these guys. The professor's like, so did you figure out the code, GA? I was hoping you would. Let me show you, Professor. And so yeah, so watch harmonica, almanac, letters, elephant, spell out whale. And let us straight here to Whale Island. There you go. So that's the end of that. And I hope you enjoyed going through all this with me. If you like what you saw, please give a like to this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Lots of great comic book stuff on here. So until next time, take care.